Hiya kids and cadets, what's happening? We're working on a yard machine today. This was submerged in the Gulf of Mexico. I worked on this baby turd, and then I have another Boland's baby turd that I mess with. We'll go over and look at that one after. I'm putting this thing back together now in the yard machine. I can try to give you a date here. It's a 2020. So you can see all the rust here. I had the valve cover off. The valves were tight, adjusted those. The head bolts were tight. I didn't have to tighten those down. Those were fine. You can see all the salt here oiled up the spring on the recoil. This is a 300E 125cc. So this is considered a turd. I got my bag of turds out here for Sad Turd Day. The MTD model number 11 Alpha Dash 02 Bravo Tango 729. So I had this machine tilted back, spark plug was out. I kept putting my 50/50 acetone ATF in the cylinder so I could go 180 and then it would stop, go back the other way 180 and it would stop. So I turned it on its side and I banged the living crap out of the blade with this block of wood. And slowly, inch by inch, I forced the piston to go 360. So this is going to be a Hail Mary if this thing starts. So there is a little bit of bumpy bump here. It could be just good compression, but it feels kind of wonky. So we may have nothing on this. Deck's going in the scrap pile. If I can use the engine on something else, we'll mess with that. Same thing with this, cleaned it out. Wasn't too bad actually on the car, but you got a bunch of leftover silt and salt here. Same thing with the tank, clean that out, put it on the hood of my CRV to dry out. So the model number on the engine's 08 Papa 5020 167 Frank 1. Serial 200908220670. Took the coil off, did a little work here to get rid of the crusty rust. So we got to put that back on. I just have a business card here to gap it with. So luckily these two screws came out easily. The green one of these broke off, and I've been babying it with my mixture for several days, letting it soak in, and I was able to get a bite on it with a pair of vice grips. So this thing may need oil. So let's just put this back together, clip my ground wire onto the coil. I don't think I've worked on one as bad as this as far as the rust. It's just rusty everywhere. It'll be a miracle if I can get the 3 bolts off the engine deck. But I'll do the same thing. I'll start soaking those so I don't break them off. Who knows, this thing might not even run. My confidence level on this is 0 to none, but I'm going to try. So we'll put this coil on, put the carb on, put it back down on the ground, check the oil, and add gasolina. So this was my project. These two turds, red and green, Christmas turds. Boland's has got a green deck. I'll show you that. I took some old engine oil, and I had bought a 2-inch cheap brush from Dollar Tree, $1.25. So I undercoated the deck, but this one's too far gone. I can't do anything with this. It's terrible bubbling up here. I mean, it's just not worth it for me to keep plowing ahead down here. Just the Gulf of Mexico was not friendly to this machine. Okay, oh, that's the other thing. This thing had a torch plug in it, and I wanted to grab another plug. So let me try doing that. There's a high wheeler Boland's right next to me on my trailer. Looks like it's got a new, kind of a newish plug. Sorry about that. And it's actually an older plug. The base of it's rusty. So we'll just keep plowing ahead with this thing. I'm gonna leave this off. When we get on the ground, I want to pull this over a few times to get rid of any oil. Like I said, I've been saturating this thing to try to break it free. Probably shouldn't have been wailing on the blade, but this was only $5. This was out of the group from Palmetto, and I walked by it. I didn't have much interest in it because I could see the condition. So after we did our horse trading, she said, whatever you didn't take, it's going to the scrap yard. Would you be interested in any of it? So I took two more that were rough. Actually, that Boland's might be one of them, the other machine. When you see these hose clamps rust, you know it's in rough shape. Okay, backing plate, I washed them off. Got them all nice and clean. Okay, looking good. No, there's the, it had an auto light, sorry. I thought it was a torch. It had an auto light, 3924, which has a bunch of buildup there on the electrode. Wow. Would have to clean that one up for future use. Okay, let's keep motivating here. Those are just plug sockets I'm missing. We got it. Just the one with the new bulb. No, I think the Boland's had a new bulb. I went ahead and put a new bulb on it. Yeah, it's the Boland's, not this one. Hope you guys are having a good weekend, or will have a good weekend. Didn't want to disappoint you on Saturday. Found a couple of turds to show you. Okay. We'll put that recoil on it. The safety brake cable's off of it. So I just have the spring off and the linkage to full open so it won't ground out the coil. Because if this machine goes on another deck, I don't really have to worry about the recoil. I mean, safety brake cable. I hope all this time I spent on this one wasn't for naught. The other one started. Blade was bent. I found a used blade for the Boland's. So this 2020 really turned into a rough machine. Okay, I know you're going to break me on the filter. I forgot to bring one out. That's out of the machine right here on the trailer. Put some non-ethanol in it. My co-worker from the Brotherhood picked up his 2 units. I reminded him to use non-ethanol fuel, which he hadn't been. So I just made a big mess here. Probably shouldn't have put that much in. This thing could be a dud. Okay, I'll leave the turds on for good luck. Clucky, you hold down the turd bag. Okay, let's get it down. We still have to pull on it to clean out the cylinder. Maybe I can do it here since I have the compressed air nearby. I'll do it here. Knocky, knocky, knocky. Okay, I'll throw the plug in. So best case scenario, it starts and heats up and blows all that foreign material out the exhaust. Okay, tight enough. Dropping stuff left and right. Okay, so we got fuel. We just got to check oil when I get it on the ground. We'll dump some crappy oil in it if we need to. This is the brush I got. They got them in like 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 2 inch, 4 inch. I figured I could move the 2 inch around pretty easily under the deck. Got all the nooks and crannies in that on that Boland's crap box. It's only got one bolt on the handle, so it's giving me agita. Yeah, there's nothing in it for oil. We'll junk it up. You guys starting to work on your own projects for the season? I know you've been on hiatus because it's been minus 45 in North Dakota. Not even touching, so a little bit more. If I'm in range, that'll be fine. Who's coming in? Navy. Huh. Navy plane. It's weird. Commercial size jet. It said Navy on the side. Practicing approaches. Geez, I hope there's not a hole in the bottom of this thing. It just keeps taking oil left and right. Okay, finally, we're at the bottom. Okay, spring is full open, turds are safe, prime it, and I'm going to pull. Nothing. No. 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 Turn it over too easy. I don't think we got compression. There's no thumpy, thumpy, thumpy. It's just one long pull. Rings could be dead on arrival. So this was not a good outcome. At least I know. Okay, the plug was filled up with the oil. Kind of granules. When I just tapped the plug out, it felt like little granules. So we're not done yet. Okay, we got spark. Might have to do this a couple times. Keep checking the plug that it doesn't fill up with crapola. Still feels weak though on the compression. That's not going to change. Okay, let's try it. Linkage is still open, not grounding. No. No, it just feels like it's pulling over way too easy. At least I got a recoil tank and carb I can use. I'll never be able to get these wheels off. The nuts are so rusty. Okay, we're clear on the plug. I did not see any buildup. I could run compression, but I don't have my gauge outside. I'll give it another try. May even goose it with, what do we have? We got starting fluid, the real stuff, Johnson's starting fluid. Oh yeah. Let's see. I can smell it. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Needs to go back in the Gulf of Mexico. Boland's maybe 20. What is this? 2016. I'll show you this one. When I'm working on the baby 20s, they have the fixed chutes. I take them off so I can turn them over completely. So the blade that was on this one was bent. I just put a used blade on it to try starting it. So I just did the poor man's undercoating with some leftover oil. Just went through the whole thing and just brushed it on. I was able to get the wheels. They were in the middle position. I gooped them up with some of my homemade rust buster and let them sit. And I was able to get all of them off and move them down. So I went through the carb on this, cleaned it out. There was quite a bit of white crystallized material in the bowl. So I did have this one going earlier, new bulb like I said, and the cable was dragging, so I went ahead and oiled up the cable. One pull Annie, so you can't win them all. The red is dead, the green is go. I guess you could summarize it like that. Just find it easier to remove these because when you flip them over, they tend to ride on this thing and they're not stable. I don't like mowers that aren't stable. So let me just get these started, send you guys home with a goodie bag. Okay, I'll come back later. and finish tightening them down. Okay. Have a good day. Appreciate you coming out. Navy jet's coming back. He must be doing approaches. It's got an emblem of some sort on the tail, but I can't read it from this distance. Maybe a radar plane of some sort. Anywho, have a good day today. Tip your waitress and waitstaff. Adios, amigos.